I think we are live.
Yeah, I just got the notification.
Okay. You got the notification through YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so now I need to bring up chat. Hang on. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome to Anthony Horton Fishing. Tonight we are doing something a little bit special. I'm going to be doing a new series coming up in 2019 where once or twice a week I'm going to be doing what I call garage talk. So I'm going to come out here and talk tackle tips and tricks, and hopefully get some special guests to come on and share their insight on some stuff. Tonight, as you can see, we got Mr. Bryce over from Outdoors Weekly here with us. Go check out his channel on YouTube, also on Instagram at Outdoors Weekly. And what we're going to be talking about tonight is soft plastic presentations, more specifically in the winter, and some things that I do different that other people don't quite know about yet. Just some stuff to help you out. So right now, while I'm trying to get one of my presentations fixed, Bryce, why don't you talk to him for a minute?
All right, I'm not sure if you can see me right now. I'm trying to post this on my Instagram here.
Okay, well, I'll wait.
I'm not gonna see what you're doing.
Is that Aiden?
Yes, that's my daughter, Aiden. The one that every time I'm live, she tends to hop in.
Dad,
What?
I want to get home back here. Can I get back here, Daddy?
No.
Okay.
Well, right now, I'm losing every little piece I got in my boat. We're trying to make this rig, and Bryce is trying to share it so we can get some live viewers. Right now, we only got one viewer, Bryce, which is you. So, but I want to do this. I don't have any equipment to do like a podcast like you see Mike Iaconelli and all them do. So we're going to continue to do it through Google Hangouts. And hopefully, once I get the rest of my garage cleaned out, I'll actually get it set up and we can have people come over and actually do it like a real garage.
We're in now. All right, it disconnected me for a second there. All right, okay. We shared it on YouTube and we shared it on Instagram. So
cool deal.
Be good. Now we just gotta wait for some people to come on by here.
All right, while we're waiting, since this is going to be on my YouTube, go ahead, tell them some about you, your channel, what your main focus is on your channel, and stuff like that.
All right, what is up, guys? I'm Outdoors Weekly. On my channel, I just kind of do lots of outdoor stuff, like anything to do with outdoors. We got fishing, hunting, magnet fishing. It's kind of a hodgepodge of all the outdoors activities.
You just had a video come out for ice fishing, did you not?
Yeah, today, an hour ago. Doing some ice fishing up here. I'm currently in Wisconsin, but based out of North Carolina. Got quite a few ice fishing videos coming your way.
Cool deal. I unfortunately have not been ice fishing since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
It's fun.
So I need to do it again sometime.
Yeah, it's fun. The pike have been biting.
Oh yeah, what kind?
Northern pike.
Any size to them?
The biggest one we caught so far was 34.
Oh dang!
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Big.
Yeah, it's been.
It's always a blessing catching some big fish like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't catch it. One of my buddies caught it, but I was there, so.
Wow. Still, it's a big fish. So, all right. So I got my little rig, my homemade rig that I use, which you'll know it because you've seen it at the last show in Greensboro, put together, this little shindig. But what we want to focus on, which I don't see anyone in here right now, but just different types of presentations that I use for soft plastic. And then some little redneckery that I do when I don't have any stuff in my boat or I don't have anything purchased. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the slowest type of presentation to the fastest. And I want you to get down and go inside before you fall off the boat and hurt yourself.
I'm on my scooter.
Well, especially you standing on your scooter. Go inside. Sorry, y'all. All right, so one of the first things that I do, that's one of the slowest presentations, is a drop shot and or a shaky head. So you get some worms here real quick. And for those of y'all that fish a lot, you know what a shaky head is. But we'll go over that one first. And what I'm using is an Illusion Bait shaky head and a net bait finesse worm. I mostly use either net bait or Dwayne's custom baits. He's got a sneaky worm that is amazing. It's got a lot of action on it. And then I use an Illusion Baits shaky head. Where's the camera on this thing? It's somewhere up there. But this is what I use 99.9% of the time. Go inside.
Does that have the flat head on it?
No, it's round.
I like the flat heads a little bit better.
Yeah, Owner
Personal
makes a good
preference,
flathead
though.
one. However, I don't think I have any, and that's what I was about to say is if I run out, I'll go to Academy or Bass Pro Shops and get an Owner hook, which they make them with that flat bottom on them. I just don't. I got plenty of Illusions right now, so I don't have any Owners. But he hand sees and bakes them and makes a lot of them. Now, if you don't want to use, and I'm going to show you some other stuff that I use too. I gotta find it though. I think it's in a different box. I use what's called a wobble head as well. Or I'll use one of these, which this is a football, it's just a regular jig head. But I'll use that. And the way that I use that is if I'm doing a crawl, I'll do a Missile Baits D-bomb, for instance. I'll use this if I'm doing a crawl presentation where it'll be just like a Texas rig, with the exception of putting the plastic back through. So I'll run this all the way up the hook, out the side, like so, just like that. And I'll still fish it just like a shaky head because this will still flare up. But the only difference in this one is the hook is exposed, whereas the shaky head that I use, and what did I do with that worm? I got stuff all over the place here, Bryce. And tell me to shut up if you want to put your 2 cents in.
Well, I'll just kind of chime in if I'm going to say something.
Now, I use, with my shaky heads, I only use 2 types of color heads. I either use black or green pumpkin, and there's a science behind it, which I mentioned in one of my other lives. In the fall, we all know the leaves fall into the water, and we're fighting leaves, especially with crankbaits or some top water. But when the leaves sink down to the bottom of the river or the lake or whatever you're fishing, they turn black or they turn real dark brown. Well, the green pumpkin jig heads, as well as, let me see if I can pull out the black one. Black are the colors of the leaves. So what you're doing is when you toss this out and you got it on the bottom, it's going to blend in with the bottom, the jig head will. So they're not going to see the jig head. All they're going to see is the bait or the worm. And that's how I set it up right there. I'll push it through and then I make it weedless so the hook isn't exposed. But when they come down and they wrench on it, what happens is just like that. It pops out. So right now it's weedless, so you can pull it through trees. But when they bite it down, you can see right here, when they bite it down, it just pops out.
I never knew that about the leaves changing. That's a good idea. I don't really throw shaky heads too much though.
Oh, I do during the winter, and the reason why I throw these in the winter is it's very, very slow presentation. I use this on anywhere from a 6'9" to a 7-foot spinning outfit with light tackle, anywhere from 12 to 14-pound ball sacks tarantula. And the reason why is when me see if I got something I can set this on. We'll just use one of the boxes. The reason why is when you toss this bait out and it hits, you're not going to move it. You're going to sit there and you're just going to jiggle it like that in place until the fish come and bite it. That's what you want. So this is the slowest presentation you got. So that's the shaky head. The next slowest presentation, which I ain't going to rig up, but I'll talk about it, is a drop shot. Now, I do something a little different because I don't have a lot of drop shot stuff right now. But I'll show you how I set it up and the types of hooks that I use. And people
That's something I need to get at the show too. I need to get drop shot stuff at the show.
Yeah. All right, so the hooks that I use, and you're going to laugh when you see the size of them, but I've had a lot of success on this. This is an owner. It's like a 1/0 hook. However, here we go, right here. You can see it's got a barrel swivel on it, and then it's in between the wire here. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Let me see if I got a white background or something that I can use here.
Jesus.
Yeah, my son, all right, so I'll put it, this is the back of a Mustad package, if that helps any. No, my hand was better. All right, so there it is there. You can see it's got the wire going through the eye of the hook and then a barrel swivel. And this is a 1/0. It's really light wire, really small, almost like a trout hook. But I use this because the fish that I catch in the winter when I'm drop shotting are not that big. But you still can catch a big fish on it if you want to. And here comes my adorable wife. There we go. Taking trash out. Sorry. Huh?
That's a quiet garage.
All right. So what I do, this is just a paddle tail I had sitting there. The way I rig up my drop shot is just like this. I go through the nose and I leave it like that. So it may not look like a lot, but what happens is this gives this bait the most action on any other way you can hook it. Now you can hook it like a Texas rig or weedless where you bury the hook, come out and bury it. But if you want action because you're working it so slow, that's how I do it. I just take the front part of the bait and go up through the nose like so. That's how I fish my drop shot. And then I use anywhere from a 10 to a 12-inch lead. And the drop shot weight, well, hang on. All right, I don't think I have any drop shot weights on me, which this will be a good presentation for that. Is if you don't have any drop shot weights, one of the cheapest things you can get, and I had a bag of them here somewhere, so hang on. There you are. And you're going to laugh too, but one of the cheapest things you can get for a drop shot weight is these. Split shot.
Really?
Yep.
And they're effective.
Huh?
The cheapest, but is it the most effective?
Well, here's what I'm about to talk to you about. Got a piece of line here, just regular piece of line. All right, so imagine you got your drop shot rig and you got this one hooked up to the hook, and then you got a 10 to 12-inch lead on the bottom. All right, drop shot weights, all they do is you put the line through it and you cinch it. So if it gets hung, it'll slide. Correct?
Yep.
So with the split shot, all you have to do is you put a split shot at the end of your line and bite it. So right there, you have a drop shot weight. Now the thing is you didn't wrench on it with a pair of pliers. You just pretty much closed it. So if it gets caught up, it's going to slide off just like a drop shot weight does.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go out and spend, $5 on a pack of drop shot weights when you have split shots hanging around the house, and they're going to do the exact same thing. Because if you're an avid fisherman and or like me, you got kids, and with kids that are 4 years old or 3 or 4 years old and they don't know how to cast, they know how to watch a bobber, you'll have split shots somewhere around your place. So
yeah, or anywhere that has fishing tackle has split shots.
Yeah. Now back to, and I'm going to show you another trick that I do, which is going to bring my homemade rig in. Back to the shaky head. Hang on. Justin, one of my buddies is text me. Back to the shaky head. Now, we know the shaky head. We know it, well, but there's something else that I do to this that entices the fish a little bit more. And I'm about to ruin one bait, but it's all right because it's for the channel. What I do is I'll take my shaky head, and on the tail right here, I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll cut a flat part off. All right, and then I make a homemade rig, which is a willow leaf blade, a barrel swivel, and then a tag along, which is just a screw lock. And what I'll do is I'll take that screw lock and I'll screw it into the other end of the shaky head, which, Bryce, this is that rig that you see me throw on the tank that everyone wanted me to build one.
Yeah.
Bro, last year.
Hey, you should do this year? You should have some pre-built. Sell them.
Yeah. And then you just screw it in, and what's going to happen is as this is falling through the water column, it's going to flash. So this is going to spin around as it's falling and give the flash of a dying shad. And it's going to pull the fish into that bait, and then they're going to see the bait, and then they're going to want to eat it. The other thing, too, this adds a little weight to the tail, so once it hits, that tail is going to start to fall, and as it's falling down, it's going to shimmer, and it's going to go like this. And every time if you pick it up or twitch it, and that tail dances, it's going to give that shimmer of that blade, and it's going to entice the fish.
Would a floating worm be better for that?
It could be. It'll slow the fall down.
Yeah. If you're trying to fish slow, it might. Never know.
And that rig can work on a Texas rig too, so it's a pretty universal rig. But all it does, and they make these sometimes that you can go and find these made, but it would be cheaper just to buy them. Buy a pack of screw locks, some snap rings, or not snap rings, some split rings, barrel swivels, and willow blades, and you can make hundreds of them for a lot cheaper. All right.
Yeah, you can probably get those willow blades off Wish or something, somewhere cheap.
Yeah. Tackle Warehouse, Wish. Everyone got gift cards for Christmas, so you can go and get them at Academy or whatnot. All right, next, we all know what the next one is. Well, no, I better not do that. Hang on, I'll save the Texas rig because I'm going from slow to fast. So here's another thing. I don't have any on me. I lost them, but the next rig that we're going to do is a wacky rig. And what I use for a wacky rig is I use an octopus hook that has a bent tip on it right here. It's got, hang on. Can you see that?
Look at my phone.
Can you see that, Mike?
Yeah.
So it's got a bent tip on it. The reason why I use this, and I don't have them on me, but I have what's called a Wacko tool, which I got the rubber bands here. I can show you. I got different colored rubber bands that go with them. But all the Wacko tool is a tube that you slide a Senko in or whatever you're wacky rigging in, and then you pull a rubber band over the bait. If I can get it on without that tool. All right, so I'll pull a rubber band over the bait for you, and it just makes it easier to get it on there. But I use that, and then I use the octopus hook. And that is my wacky rig. Okay, now here's where some tips and tricks come in. If the bass are really finicky and they really don't like it a slow fall, the same thing you can do. Good old split ring or a split shot. And on that rubber band, you can take that split shot, which I'm doing right now. Open it up a little bit more. Now, they do make weighted wacky rig hooks. But yet again, if you're wanting to go cheap and you're wanting to, you know, stay cheap, then you can do this. Now, what I just did is it's low profile, but you can take a split shot, hang it on that band, close it on that band, and now you have a weighted wacky. So it'll fall quicker, and it's still lower profile than having that weight hang here or having a big old ball weight up here. It's still somewhat low profile, so they're not going to see that weight as much, and it's going to fall a lot quicker. The other thing that I do, and I'll see if I can find it, because I just had one the other day. Go ahead and talk, Bryce, while I'm looking for mine. I don't need to do all the talking.
All right. So, I like to fish the squares and stuff too, like really slow in the winter, like once it starts to get a little bit colder. Oh wait, it's a plastics thing. My bad. Like, did you talk about the drop shot, right?
Yeah.
What about the Nico rig?
Your 2 cents in too now.
Yeah, the Nico rig.
Go ahead, talk about it.
That rig I actually learned from Anthony. It was a new rig, and it's pretty cool. I haven't really fished it too much, but I'm going to definitely this winter. So what it is it's a, if I'm correct here, it's a Senko that's Texas rig with a nail weight in the back of it, right? Yeah, there we go. And what it does is instead of it sinks straight up and down. Let me know if I'm not explaining this right. It sinks up and down, and when you twitch it over rocks, it has the wacky action, but it's sideways.
And I'll get into it because I rig it up a little bit different, but it's part of the wacky rig. I just ain't got to it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, continuing on with what I was showing you with the wacky, that is a cheap, easy way to make it weighted. However, a lot of people have issues when you're fishing it and it's hanging here. A lot of people have issues with that rubber band or the bait either sliding up, going like this, or sliding up and coming up the back of your line, and then it's all the way up here. I've come up with a simple solution. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can buy a pack of I use what's called a hook pal, and you can buy a pack of them. What a hook pal is you have a tool that comes with these little plastic discs. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick, but it comes with these little discs. It's meant for spinner baits, for trailer hooks, stuff like that. But you can also use it here where when you put your hook on, you can slide that disc up right here and then put another disc up and pin it in between the discs, and it's not going to slide. So you can keep your bait from sliding up or down the hook, and you can keep your hook exposed because we don't want that bait to slide and it get over the hook and then you miss a fish. So that's a good way to position your bait on the hook and keep it where you want it. Now, what Bryce was talking about, one other thing, is the Nico rig, which I don't do at Texas. What did I just do with my nail weight? I had one there.
Oh, yeah, it was wacky rig, not Texas rig.
Yeah.
That's where I messed up.
These are the nail weights that I use, and as you can see, they are ribbed, but the reason why they're ribbed is you can break these off into sections. So that way you're not having the full, this is 3/8 ounce, but you can break it down and make it a lighter. You can make it as light as you want, or you can put the full nail weight in and make it heavy. But what you want to do is you take your Wacky Rig worm and you're going to insert the nail weight into the flat bottom part. This is the part that you're going to want to keep on the bottom. All right. So that's what it is. You got the nail weight in there, and what happens is when you cast it out, it's going to be like a rocket. It's going to look like a Texas rig because that nail weight is going to shoot it down to the bottom. All right. Once you hit it on the bottom, you're going to pull your line tight, and when you pull your line tight, this rig is going to stand straight up. So here, I'm going to angle down just a little bit. Oh, it ain't going to show it. But what's going to happen is when you pull your line tight and that stands up, you can literally walk this thing across the bottom and across rocks standing straight up. And if you twitch it, it's going to dance a little bit more. The other thing too is with that weight, once you pull it, say if you're vertical jigging and you pull it, the minute you pull, this weight is going to fold over like that. When you let it go, it's going to fall straight down. So literally it's going to look like this: pull, fall, pull, fall. So it's going to entice that fish a little bit more. You want to add anything to that?
No, I pretty much covered it. Pretty good.
All right, moving on to the next rig is the one that I use year-round, wholeheartedly. I use it on any soft plastic I have, which we all know it. It's famous, the Texas rig. Everyone uses it with worms, craws, frogs, everything, which that's it right there. Now, that rig that I showed you on the shaky head that I made with the blade, you can actually use that as well and just put it on here. So a Texas rig, you can actually search with it, where if you have one of these on a Senko or a really long finesse worm and you put that barrel swivel blade on the back, that tag along, what you can do is you can actually swim this. So you can use it weighted, pull it through the water column, get flash, and they'll think it's a shad and they'll eat it. So the Texas rig is pretty simple. There's really not a whole lot to it. And the last one that I use in the winter, besides flipping, I'll flip too, but the last one that I use, which I'll have to get it. Give me just 1 second. Now, I do a lot more in the winter, such as cranking or stuff like that, but this is just my soft plastics presentation, what I do with my soft plastics. So we'll get into another one later. All right, the last one I do is my swim baits. I use 2 different types of heads from the swim baits. The first one is what I call a scrounger head, which my scrounger heads, as you can see, is just a lead jig head with a quick clip on it and this plastic rubber shield. And what happens is that plastic rubber shield is going to get this thing to go all over the place. So it's going to search randomly. It's going to shake. And then I use it with, this is just an old shad style bait that I have, which you can see is beat up. But it's a simple bait. You just slide it over like you were rigging up a jig head, like so. And then you use that, and as it's shaking, that tail is going to shake and make it look like a dying shad, and it's going to give it some good vibration. But the biggest thing is like a chatterbait has a hard blade on it. This has a soft, but this is one of the soft plastic presentations I use. The other one that I use, sort of like the scrounger head, and I got, numerous scrounger heads. I got the smaller ones here, but I actually I got Illusion Baits to make me a lot of these. This is an underspin, and I use it on smaller profile baits. I throw this in a crankbait and a spinnerbait 9 times out of 10 in the winter to search for them. And then when I find them is when I flip over to the other baits. But I use really slender baits on this. And the reason why is the forage around here, they're not hand shad. They're not like the big shad like you see on Falls Lakes or any of the other lakes. The ones here are like minnows. So this is the rig that I use here. This is a 360 GT search bait body, and then on an Illusion Baits swim spin. And that's just a bright white. I got tons of them because this is my favorite color. Now, Bryce over there waxed my tail with this back in the middle of the summer using a swim bait.
Oh, yeah.
On a Bass Pro Shop swim bait. So he knows how well they work.
Yes, they work amazing, especially pre-spawn and post-spawn. Really good.
Now, the other thing you can do to those is what Illusion Baits does is you can add a skirt. Now, this is a 2-layered skirt where you can see that you got shorter ones here and longer ones here. It gives it a little bit more flutter when you're using it, as well as the paddle of that bait. So that's a good presentation for it. But that's the baits that I use soft plastic-wise for the winter and fall, just to increase my chances. And hopefully, we talked about something that you haven't seen before or heard before that would help you out, especially if you're a budget fisherman or you're trying to find something new to increase your chances. Hopefully, the split shot and then the worm trick with the blade. Hopefully those two things that I do that I don't see a lot of people doing will help you out. So now Bryce is my guest on this, so we're kind of trying. He's got a time limit, but I'm going to try to do this at least every Sunday if I can't. Now, January and February, me and Bryce will be at the Raleigh, Richmond. I'll be at Knoxville, Tennessee, and Greensboro Bass and Saltwater Fishing Expos. So those ones, the garage talks won't be in the garage there. We'll probably do those on Saturday, and we'll probably do those at the show about some neat stuff that we find at the show or some really awesome deals going on at the shows. But I want to try to do this at least once a week, not only to build, a following on YouTube, but to give y'all opportunity to see something you may have not seen before. So with that being said, that's all I got. We can turn this into a regular talk, or we can call this one done. But Bryce, go ahead. If you got anything you want to pitch in, please do so.
I mean, it was kind of hard for me to talk this time because I don't have all my stuff with me. Like I'm in Wisconsin right now. I didn't bring anything because I'm just ice fishing up here. But definitely we'll have to come back on again when I got all my stuff in front of me and can show some stuff.
Now, could you use any of these rigs out there doing your ice fishing stuff?
What was that? Sorry, I'm getting texts. We're planning for tomorrow right now.
I was saying, could you use any of these? Could you use any of these rigs for ice fishing?
No, not really, because you want to use like a really, really small presentation, especially because it's like stupid cold up here and the water's like it's frozen. The water's below 32 degrees, so you want to like a really small, pleasant presentation and a tungsten jig. And you use tungsten because that sinks a lot faster and you can jig it a little bit better.
So you don't have any soft plastics up there?
Yeah, dude, I don't know where they are. I got some with me, but I'm not sure where they are. Probably in my jacket pocket or something.
Well, what are they? Can you talk about them?
Here, I'll go see if I can find them real quick.
Okay. Well, he's doing that. I'm trying to get my shaky heads in line because I told this is what happens when I don't have my shaky heads. That is a Christmas tree of shaky heads. And my box won't close because all that is sitting like that inside my box. And I'm using my favorite box for my terminal tackle, which is a Bass Mafia coffin, but I don't have enough room for all my hooks, so I got to get a new one.
Here we go. We got the plastics going here. I actually got one rigged up on one of my jigs here.
So talk about it, because I don't ice fish. I haven't been ice fishing since I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, dude, this is like the first year I'm like really getting into it here with like the different techniques and stuff. So I'm really new to all this stuff, but This is what we got going on here. Probably not going to be able to see it very well at all. We got a black jig, tungsten jig, and I'll show you the plastic here. It looks like some kind of larva or something. That'll be like in the middle of the water column. And what you do is you just jig that subtly, and that tail just like basically like floats in the water. Kind of entices it. I would like a little bit of a bigger, smaller plastic, but that's all they had at the store over here.
So, would you consider that a nymph? Like in fly fishing? Is that like
this is the plastic? It's called I don't even know what that is called. A Mackeye or something like that. There, it's not focusing very well, but
put your hand in front of it. Well, not in front of it. Put your hand behind it to get, because I think it's still trying to pick you up.
I don't know. Maki. That's the name of that. Not
Maki or something.
Yeah, something like that. I have no idea. It's a weird name, but it's been working. I got like one crappie so far, and the rest we've just been using waxworms, which are basically like maggots.
Okay. And you just vertical jig it so straight up and down.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. You're in a hole. And we've been also setting up tip ups too. With
tip ups are fun. I would like to fish with tip ups.
Oh yeah, dude. You just set them out there while you're fishing, you're jigging. One goes up, and it's just an adrenaline rush from there. You just run over the hole. All of it is so much fun, dude.
I bet. Now, when you ice fish, are you out in like the tents with the heater in, or are you the one that's got like 50 holes where you're chasing and checking every hole?
It really depends on the day. Sometimes, like when it's like stupid cold out, like you gotta be in a shack with a heater, and you can kind of narrow down on spots. Once you got a good spot and you're catching lots of fish, you can pop the tent right over there. So then you get a little bit more comfortable. You can take off some layers, and then you can just really get on them with the jig and be a little bit more comfortable.
Do you use electronics when you're doing it?
Yeah, there's a thing called a Vexilar, and I just learned how to use the Vexilar like the other day here. It's really cool. So there's like little flashing lights. There's like they can like mark the fish and they can mark your jig. So you can find the jig on the Vexilar, and then you can see a fish come up to your jig while you're jigging it. And then once it gets like right on top of it, then you just feel your rod a little tick, and then you just set the hook and reel it in.
That would be a cool video for you to try to show us how to use something like that.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely – we were going to do one, but I don't know if I got enough time because I'm just trying to, like, catch a lot of fish because I'm only up here till the 2nd, and I just wish I had more time here. I wish I had, like, a full, like, month that I could be up here doing this.
Yeah. Well, you're just up there visiting family for the New Year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool deal, man. Well, look, Bryce, I want to thank you for helping me out and joining in on the chat and giving your 2 cents in. Hopefully we can do more. I think it was a success. I think, this will be beneficial to my subscribers, your subscribers, and anyone out there really fishing. And this is all the kind of things I want to get to is like, getting back to the basics and trying to help everyone out. If they don't know how to use a rig, they can. Like I wanted to put a rig that Grab Life by the Fish, Miss Heather over at Grab Life by the Fish was using, but I don't have any of the equipment for it, which was the Tokyo rig, which came out at ICAST last year. I want to, when I go to the shows, I'm going to go get some of those and try to start fishing them and get a feel on how they work.
But, I saw those things. Those things were pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a miniature drop shot.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyways, we've been on here. I don't know where the timer is.
It's been anyway, 45 minutes probably.
Yeah. Well, it's good enough for a video. I think it's good enough for a live event. If you will, please leave a like, leave a comment, share this video. Go over to Bryce's channel, subscribe. How many subscribers are you up to now, Bryce?
Like, I want to be at 35 for the show. I'm at 34,575.
So go ahead, go on over there, subscribe to his channel, leave a like, comment, share the love, and then come see us at the fishing expos.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, again, Bryce, we'll talk to you later, and we'll go ahead and end this broadcast, and we'll see you next week here on Anthony Horton Fishing. Part 1, Episode 1, 2019 Garage Talk. So we'll see y'all then. Later, y'all.
Bye.